Gdansk Tones Definitive Guide. I think we're ready. I think we're ready. Welcome to another episode of Album by Album, Song by Song. In this episode, I will be going through almost every song in Lynden Gdansk album. Gdansk is something different for me. It's some of my favorite tones and solos actually were played here. So you can be sure that this video is a definitive guide because I'm gonna deep dive into every song and you're gonna hear extracted guitar sound from David Gilmour's guitar. That takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. I'm cleaning a lot of frequencies of other instruments and it's a whole process. So I don't care if you like or subscribe, but if you enjoy this video, let's talk below. I love to talk about guitar tones and I love talking to you guys. Give me some of your ideas. What do you do to get those tones and yada yada yada, let's talk. And of course I'm gonna be giving you a lot of my tones. I gotta say though, I'm using a 1 watt amplifier with volume insanely low. You can just see right now. Now, I already made a video about David Gilmour's Every Tone Guide. It's a little shorter video. It gives you an idea, and if you know your basics, you can just watch that video and just don't look back. But this video and this video series actually is a deep dive into almost every song in that particular album or recording. But I gotta get a disclaimer here. I've benefited from different websites, different pedal makers, different magazines and interviews and different YouTube channels and different websites. So I'm about 95% sure about everything in this video, but of course I'm just a human being. If I make a mistake or give wrong information, let's talk below. I'd just love to be wrong. Also, I gotta say that David Gilmour's every single chain is complex from the 60s to present, but it goes down to a simple principle. And just like I did on the Pulse video, I'm gonna be giving you what you need to know. This is a definitive guide and a detailed tone guide, but I'm not gonna be talking about the cable brands and stuff. So yeah, if you watch this video carefully, you will know everything you need to know about Gdansk tone. Just like you did on the Pulse one. Or Comfortable Numb one. Right? Okay, so we're gonna talk about 4 different types of tones. Cleans, overdrive, G2, and a big muff. Also, I gotta say that around mid-2000s, David Gilmour used G2 heavily, and he wasn't using big muff as much as he used to, but of course there are a lot of big muff tones here. We'll talk more about what's what on particular sections. So now let's start with the clean tones. There are 2 different types of tones in clean tone. First one is just a compression and a delay, and sometimes univibe for breathe and such. And the second one is he's just adding a tube driver, a clean tube driver into signal. So the signal chain is a compressor, which is Demeter compilator in this case, and a clean tube driver, univibe for breathe or time, and a delay. Also, I gotta say that David Gilmour used his univibe and phaser before or after dirt pedals. I don't think it colors that much. I don't think it makes a difference. I use before dirt pedals and after compressor. But like I said, David Gilmour used his phaser, not in this particular case, but phaser and univibe, they close to each other, so that's why I'm mentioning it. He used his phaser and univibe before dirt pedals 2 and after dirt pedals 2, and in this case he used his univibe after dirt pedals. You can already see it on the screen, but I just wanted to mention that. Just follow the screen while you listen extra guitar tones, and after that I'm gonna be giving you my signal chain for almost all of them. Okay, overdrives. Actually, it's pretty easy to nail David Gilmour's Gdansk tones. He doesn't have that much in the signal chain. And for overdrive tones, I'm in for The Blue, Echoes' Overdrive Tones, Shine On You Crazy Diamond, This Heaven, Astronomy Donomy, I don't know how to pronounce that. It's almost all the same. There is just a compression, Demeter completer in a signal chain, and a very high gain tube driver and a delay. There is just a Digitech whammy on The Blue, and I just don't hear a compression on Astronomy Donomy. Just watch the screen while you listen to extracted guitar sounds, and my sounds, of course. Overdrive tones are easy to nail. G2 sounds, which are my favorite. G2 is actually something between a Big Muff and an Overdrive, but I think close to Tube Driver. But it has that Big Muffish tone in that. You can try to get the tones with a Tube Driver or a Big Muff, but I don't think anything sounds like that. People say you can just use Proco Rats. I don't agree. It's pretty same, but it doesn't have something that last 5% it's missing. But G2 is very expensive and a very rare pedal. I use Pastafix's Revolution. It was a gift to me, and I don't think I have ever taken it off from my pedal board. This is not paid promotion or anything. I love the pedal. I want everyone to have that pedal. It's an overdrive if you want. It's a distortion if you want that. It's a fuzz if you want. I mean, if you adjust the knobs correctly. So I'm gonna be using that a lot for G2 tones, and it's pretty close, at least in my hair. So back to songs. On an Island here is a little important. I wanna talk to you guys and ask your opinion. I think in the first solo that David Gilmour plays on an Island, he uses G2 with or without Tube Driver, but I think with Tube Driver because it's fatter. But on the second solo, he uses a Big Muff with Tube Driver. We'll get to that on Big Muff Tones. But what do you think? I think it's a little brighter than a Big Muff for the first solo. When you hear my tone for On an Island's first solo, you're gonna hear a G2 type pedal, like I said, Pastafix's Revolution. Again, you be the judge, just help me with that. So David Gilmour used this G2 with and without a compression, also with and without a Tube Driver. You should just follow the screen. But if we're gonna have to give a signal chain verbally, if you have to, his G2 sounds are pretty easy, like I said on the Overdrive or Clean. It's a compression, G2, a Tube Driver, and a delay. You can just remove Tube Driver or compression from the signal chain, it'll still sound awesome. Just follow the screen for song by song and my tones. Let's hear them. So Big Muff is probably the easiest one. Actually, this episode is pretty easy. I'm saying easy, but in a bedroom setup, it's actually really hard. Don't get me wrong, it's easy for a high headroom amp like David Gilmour's 4 high watt heads. 100 watts. I'm just using a 1 watt amp here with just volume that's lower than my strings. So yeah, I'm saying easy for all of them, but signal chain is easy, not getting the sound is easy. So for Big Muff, I'm gonna give you just one signal chain. It's just the Pete Cornish P1, which is actually a modded Ram's head. And after P1, he uses a tube driver and a delay. This is almost every Big Muff tone. Only on time, he adds a Univibe. But for On an Island, Comfortably Numb, Take a Breath, this is all just P1 and tube driver and a delay. this was the second episode of album by album, song by song. What do you think? Which studio or live album should be next? Let's talk below. Like I said, I don't care if you like or subscribe. I love talking about tones and pedals and guitar, everything. Also, you should just check out my Patreon. There are tons of backing tracks and tabs that are personally made by me. It's just like a bargain for $5. Just scroll down a little and page is gonna convince you itself. It's got every tone guide for almost every cover I do. You can access the extracted guitar sounds too there. Also, I'm gonna put useful links in the comment. I'm gonna pin it. You can just watch all of my covers from this era, at least when I'm done. And of course, in the next episode, I'll see you guys.